Okay, this is going to be a quick one. This one is about relationships. This is about a relationship between a man and a woman because it's the relationship that I know. All right, I don't know any other ones. And I'm going to explain to you whether the relationship was a bad one or a good one. You know, they always talk about investing. They say you invest and it's a business. Relationship is a business. And they get the word invest as talking about, how do you say, money, you know, and this, they show this on TV a lot. But look, you see that? This shit is fake, and a lot of influencers be pushing it. They flash it fast, you know, and people think, oh, I want to be like that. It's the influence. It's the same thing drug dealers used to do back in the days, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's the drug dealer move. They out there selling and they want to get people down with the movement. So they used to always flash money, you know, flash it. And how the drug dealers used to do it back in the days was they'll take like 100 or whatever, or 20s, and they'll wrap it in a bunch of ones, and they'll roll with that, until they get more 20s and stuff like that. There was some that was making though, but it's the same game that's going on now, but it's going on digitally. Let me get back to what I was saying though. But they said it's an investment. It's an investment. It's a business. Our relationships are a business. But dude, stop that shit. Be on the serious side. Our relationships are an investment because you're giving something that you can't give back. Get it back, I mean. And that get back is time. Time, y'all. It's an investment of time. And even in the Bible, I keep going back to the Bible and stuff like that, and how religion, because religion is ours. You get what I'm saying? That's ours, And I want to explain something to you. Death do us part is the ending of marriage, right? Time is the ending of marriage. Time will end everything. Time will end your enemies. Time will end your loved ones. Time will end your friends. And everybody you see here, everybody you see on earth, and don't get it twisted, all right? Time will end, excuse the lock, time will end everything. And within time, things could get better or worse, all right? So the investment that you are giving to any relationship is your time, not your money. You could get that shit back. Excuse my language. You could get your material things back. Things that you lost, you could always get it back if you have the time. And I always talk about, that's confirmation from my kitty, but I talk about Noah's Ark and stuff like that and the people before, and I say, yo, they had so much freaking time. They had time. And what I'm saying is now, time is the only thing that you're investing because you have, once again, you have 100 years if you're lucky. Once again. But let's go on. Women always say, I heard women say it so much. Men, they don't, a lot of men don't really go address it, but sometimes they do, because we all the same, y'all. We all the same. Women ain't no different from men. Our body parts may different, but, you know, as the Bible said, a woman is a man. Inside she's come from man, and she's the mother of men and women, right? She is, because without a woman, we wouldn't be here. But let's continue. When you meet somebody, right? And you break up regardless of how it, you break up, how, what happened. And then you meet another person, and then you break up, and you, regardless of what it was, and it seemed familiar. It seemed familiar, like, damn, he did the same thing this guy did, or she did the same thing that woman did, And then people would say to you, it's not them, it's you. Sometimes it's not you. Sometimes, my friends, my brothers, my sisters, it's a curse. It's a curse. But you must recognize that curse. And the curse can be broken. And sometimes, if it constantly happen to you, you're a good heart. You're on the side of right. See, you're on the side of right. You could break that curse. You could break that pattern. You see what I'm saying? The same thing may have happened to someone in your family, your mom, your father. That same curse. See, as I said, there are spirits around, that follow us, that could lead us to do things that we shouldn't do or didn't want to do, because people have fell in love and fell in a bad way. I mean, you all know what I'm speaking about. We have seen people fall in love and it was a good person, then all of a sudden they become an addicted drug addict or a horrible, cruel person. And we know that that wasn't them. That was somebody they just met up, hooked up with, men and women alike. And that usually happen a lot. People change. They become different from what they were. Or after a certain relationship, they change and just become horrible. They're not that good person they were, And then I have seen the cruelty. I've experienced it myself, And I'm here to tell you how to get past that. Because sometimes these people, they are puppets. They're puppets for what's haunting your lifeline, your lineage. And you put a stop to it, end it all. You got to stop it. It could stop with you. And once you start making that change, putting a stop to it, an end from it to it, you will see the Most High will look out for you. Now, with women, sometimes it gets very hard, because women, I'm sorry to say about my sisters, but they get caught up, and sometimes they end up with something else, like something more to the relationship to spend more time with, and that's a baby. And that baby, I'm sorry, but that baby has to be their reminder of that relationship. And it could change. She could do it. If she's strong enough, she could remove that and don't consider it a reminder. But this society will push her to no end. Man, they have a way of torturing women mentally, and us men gotta start realizing that this society has a way of really messing with our women. I mean, they gonna beat us down, us men, right? They gonna beat us down, but we could get stronger and stronger and fight, and we could have no reminder of that situation, But the women, it's hard for them. So that's why I'm also asking every man, whatever you do, whatever the woman, I don't care if she's like crazy, mixed up, if she try to do that, try not to make any children with a woman that you're not even intending to stay with. Even if you want to be with her and you say, okay, I'm going to be with her, find out more. Make sure you find out more. Make sure the years go down, so that if something do go wrong, because you spent so much time with her, you know how to alter that and make things work. You know, sometimes our women, they get caught up just like us men. We end up with somebody, that we think is great, and they end up being someone we hate, or either cultivating our hate towards others. But, excuse me, I got cold. But what I'm talking about with relationships is time. Time is the most important thing. And when you meet somebody who's similar to someone you had just broken away from, there's this familiar spirit, a family spirit. And what it does, it sometimes controls the mind of individuals you meet. It knows how to address you. It knows the pickup line. I mean, listen to the words. All the words sound the same. Listen to how they speak to you. If he sounds like Jeff, that's that spirit. If she sounds like Betty, that's that spirit. Let me tell you, it sounds the same. It may come off, it may change it up because it's like, oh shit, it's caught up to me. You know what I'm saying? It knows who I am, so it may imitate, but it always go back to that same thing. And don't, it's like, in fact, how you could do it, be the way you were before. Be the way you were before and let it relax. Let it become relaxed around you, the person. Let it become relaxed. And see what they do. You know what I'm saying? It's like, give them access to someone you gave the same access you gave to a certain person before they act up, and see what they do. A lot of people, they can't control that habit, and them same spirits cannot neither. They'll end up doing the same thing, and then you be like, yo, but give them the access. Make sure that access is at a point where it can't harm you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna give you an example. It's far fetched, but you know how to make it up because this is your life. You know how your life is going. Like, say that dude you was with drove your car, went around, picked up a whole bunch of girls, ran around with his friends like it was his car. Vice versa, same thing with men with that girl. Sorry about the noise. Lend them your car, right? But when you do it, you make sure like, I'm going to throw that car away or whatever, or I'm getting a new one. So lend your car, or, and see what they do. See what they go and if they go to do the same thing, then you know that, that's that spirit. That's that one that's been haunted me, But you didn't check that person when they was doing all of that. You endured, you listened to a lot of the lies. They would say, oh, that I didn't do that. What it wasn't me. And, you're getting offhand and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting it wrong. Yeah. Nah. Okay. You go and you change it. You change it. You drop them. You don't tolerate what you used to tolerate before. You speak up and you tell them, hey, I don't like that. You don't have to accuse. You just say, listen, I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking, what I believe. I believe that you was doing this and you was doing that. Even if you got the proof. And see if they'll come in their adult mind, or if they still a child and they'll be lying, no, I understand, I wasn't doing it, that wasn't me, that was somebody else. Then that's when you're dealing with a freaking child. That spirit done took over a freaking child and brought the child into the situation. So then, you just do your thing, you have to leave, But not everyone is the same. And the investment that you're spending is your time, because you're gonna get older. See, a lot of people, they do it to the youth when you're young. They do it to you when you're young, and they make it seem like you got all this time, like a freaking vampire. You could live for 1,000 years, but you don't have the time. You don't have that time to be wasted with someone, to be investing your minutes, your hours, your days, your years into someone that you, you shouldn't be with. You know, that's like working a dead end job and just staying there. You say, oh, it's gonna get better in a job. You stay there so long, the boss over you done retire with a full pension and everything, and you too old, and it's time for you to retire because you done wasted and invested your time. And now when you retire, you have nothing. You have nothing because you done invested your time in that job. And the most precious thing for you was your time. You could have been at a job where you have a pension and everything and all kinds of benefits for when it's time for you to retire, for when you become old. You know, that's that happened to a lot of people, you know. And that's another thing. Like when it happens to a man, when it happened to a man really lose. He really lose because he has nothing. You know what a woman have? And this is something that even if she have that child, by them people who wasted her time, that child could grow up to be somebody that is beautiful, that could do something that their mother didn't do, and also be great and give their mom something that she never had, you know, in her time. So the last part of her time would be a happy one. So all you women with the babies from these good for nothing men, don't be like looking at the baby or looking at your life with shame. Teach your children to grow up and be a great person. And if your children grow up to be a great person and have a good heart and good mind, just like you see them NBA players in NFL, big lawyers and stuff, they're gonna repay their mama back. They're gonna take care of their mom. You know, daddy's the one is out. You know, and you will never regret having that child. Or even if they don't be great, just do well in society. When people start talking about their offspring, man, you could brag the hell out about yours, just like God bragged the hell out about you. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of relationships, they may go sour and stuff. Yeah, it may go sour and stuff, but remember how your time is spent, and not everybody's the same, but there is something that haunts everyone on this earth, a familiar spirit. Some people have got past it and managed to have a better life, and then there's a lot of us who are still fighting against it. But you'll know it when it comes. It sounds the same. It acts the same. And it'll make you say, damn, they're all alike. I'm going to redo this. But this is just like touching a bit of it. And I hope that whoever it reach, whichever one of my brothers and sisters, it could help with their situation, that it does. But I'm going to redo this. I'm going to redo this because This is how a lot of us been okey doked, you know, because a lot of people have made deals with the devil, as they say, to help that, to press us, to push us to a point where we can't hold our heads up. We can't see past what's happening to us that's drowning us and hurting us, you know. So I'm gonna leave it as there right now. I'll redo this. I'll have another one with more information. But y'all take care and stay blessed.